So let's just go straight to our guests, and we've got two of them. And it is Belinda. Well, let's start with Randy Clarito first, because he is a repeat offender. And Belinda Calderon Nunberg, if I said it correctly, right, Belinda?
Yeah, that's correct.
The two work together, and I believe that Belinda is the CEO, which means Randy is, well, we won't say, but we'll let Randy say what he is. But I see stills of you. We're going to able to get walking, talking pictures of you,
Uh,
Sean? I guess Sean's working on it. So hopefully the people can see something better than just me moving my mouth. But at least there's some pictures of you. So I've got some good information. Belinda has got over 25 years of business experience, HR recruitment, senior healthcare services, and I think I'm one of them seniors, and founder and CEO of a number of successful companies, one of which is being represented by our guests here tonight. 1Heart, which here's product placement again. Remember, got to do product placement.
Nice cup.
Oh yeah, I wonder where I got that. So you guys started when 2015 and just one location, and then exploded.
we actually started the business way back in 2001, and 2004 we changed it to 1Heart Caregiver Services.
Oh, so the name changed on So I got a whole lot more here on your about you, but I think I'd rather you told us, or both of you told us about yourselves and each other, and then we'll get more into discussion. But first, go into how we can get a hold of you, who you are, and I'm the only one that has to say what I are, because we can see you guys are human. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi. Randy's back. So I'd like to call you not the great J, but the great big heart, with a big heart, because I like your cup.
You could have stopped at big, but that's okay. I appreciate it.
Our CEO, Belinda, is the founder of 1Heart Caregiver Services 2004. But you're right with 2015, because we started the franchising.
And we're going to be talking about franchising for a lot of different reasons.
Right.
And I'll just yap right now and say that I think this is important for two different things. For one thing, when we're old people like me, I almost said a name that would have been cut off the air, but when you're aged like myself, I really think most of us need to keep on making money, okay, one way or the other. This might be right for you, it might not be right for you. The other thing is, and I think this is really important, the other thing is I really think that it keeps people healthier if they're working. Do you agree?
Agree?
Agree, yes.
Okay, well, I'll stop yapping and go back and tell us about yourselves a little more in the company, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to our CEO founder, Belinda, now. So
yes, I guess I'll have to tell you my story about how we founded 1Heart Caregiver Services. So Jay, actually my story is really no different from probably 80 to 90% of most immigrants who come to this country. The United States is practically the land of opportunity, correct? So I came here back in 1991, and that was, in my early 20s, came in to visit the country and basically fell in love with the country, the way of life.
Yeah, wait a minute. You look like you're in your 20s right now.
No, I'm not. But that's a current picture, I tell you. So I decided to live and raise my family here. So worked hard for 13 years, was an employee for, a cell phone company until I finally took that step into starting my own business. And that was
great.
Yeah, that was in 2001, 18 years ago. I started an employment agency for office personnel professionals. A couple years later, I got so many requests for caregivers and nannies from my clients that I opened another agency. So that's this time this was only for in-home care, and that's how we started the 1Heart Caregiver Services Agency. Now that was 15, 16 years ago, and already I recognized the potential of the senior care market. So
Oh.
my motivation then was really the income potential of the market. However, things actually changed for me, when I met our first client. Now, being Asian and a Filipino at that, I was raised knowing that it is my duty to take care of my parents when they grow old. Unfortunately, I was at the other side of the world because I moved here, living my own life, taking care of my own children and my family. And, sometime in 2004, my mom was actually diagnosed with cancer.
Oh.
So, she lived for another 5 years, but during this time, I wasn't really there for her. The distance was just something that, separated me from her. And the only thing I could do was actually, call her from time to time, visit her once a year. And when her health got worse, the more I felt guilty, about not being there. And I really couldn't do much because of my responsibilities here. The good thing about it is that back in the Philippines where she was staying, living, we were able to find a caregiver who actually took care of her. So this caregiver, for 5 years, she was like the daughter that I was not there, And, so as I've said, meeting our first client, she was a sweet old lady, 84 years old, in one of the facilities here in Santa Monica. Everything just fell into place for me. As I sat there, listening to her daughter tell me, what she needed done for her mom, I could sense that she I could feel the love and the concern that she had for her mom, but also her frustration for not being able to be there because she had her own family to take care of, work responsibilities to attend to, just like everyone else right now. So I kind of saw myself in her, and at the same time I saw my own mother in her mom. Here's a person who deserves to be shown love, respect in her old days, and someone who needed to take care of her. So it was then that I realized that this is the one way I can, give back to my mom the love and the care and the support that I wasn't able to give her when she needed me because I was not there, close to her.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, my mom continues to inspire me, and I see her in every
Okay. Wow. Good.
senior that we take care of nowadays.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very personal, and for all our team members and employees, this is our passion, to help families take care of their loved ones.
And I know that this time is going to go by faster than any of us think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like my life has, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I know there's a couple of great things we can talk about. Randy's been on before talking about the virtues of in-home care. So if we have time, we can get back to that, but that's really number one. But since we're talking about franchises, let's kind of concentrate a little bit on that. So why do you think that so many executives are actually exiting the job market to open a franchise? And if younger executives are finding this a better way to go, then I guess we can extend that to, say, retired people with the ability to do so. This should be on the top of their list also.
Right. Well, you know what? I have to tell you, I actually don't agree totally with that statement. I think that most people who have been employees all their life would rather stay employed, in a job because of the income security that they get, rather than go to business for themselves. Now, those people who are actually brave enough to take that step into doing their own boss and start their business, most of them would want to do it on their own. They want to start from scratch. And few people who exit the job market, like the executives you mentioned, the smarter ones would actually look into franchising because the general idea is that it's expensive, there's franchise fees and royalty fees that will be paid, it's too restrictive, etc. So a lot of people don't go into franchising. But like I said, the smart ones, business-minded individuals would look into franchise businesses because they know and they realize that a franchise would already have a system in place that they just need to follow to be assured of success. They know that they will be in business for themselves, but never by themselves. And I'm sure Randy has some points to discuss about that also, especially the value of going into franchising compared to starting your own business.
Yeah. Do you know that even lending has franchises?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a thing. So anyway, go back, Randy. Sorry to throw that.
Yeah.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but
You know,
it just popped out because it's everywhere.
the biggest motivation for people who goes into a business on their own is to become their own boss. So the independence and franchising being one of the most successful and efficient marketing and distribution system in the world, as evidenced by McDonald's, for example.
Yeah.
The independence of small business ownership will be supported by benefits of a big business network. So we've been there for several years, and we have 5 franchises right now: Southern California and 1 in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we have Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, Santa Barbara, Thousand Oaks, and South Bay area. So they will be supported by a group of franchisees who have performed very well for the past year in 2018.
So you have support. It's not just going in, like, for instance, if you had a life, now you've retired, and you want to get into something maybe a little different than you were in before because it doesn't make sense to get back into that, doing a franchise, and specifically yours, you get a lot of support.
Yes.
And it's as if even if you're a one-man shop, when you first open the door, you've got a lot of synergy with a lot of other people doing the same thing.
Yes, your educated retirement audience and listeners will be able to get the brand of 1Heart, the operating system, and the ongoing support. So we have
a cup.
And a cup. All of these marketing giveaways will be able to be supported by our marketing department, which means that they don't need to put up their own marketing back office and not hire anymore some people. So we will have the ongoing support for as long as you carry the 1Heart name and brand. We are all in one in supporting growing 1Heart. This is what we're doing, promoting the 1Heart brand. So this is something that will be ongoing, and it's a 10-year contract and agreement, and it's renewable in the next another 5 more years. So because of the attractiveness of the industry, they will be able to have a sustainable business for the next 10 to 20 years, especially with all the support from all the departments, from recruitment, staffing, operations, marketing, and social media, and other sales, training, ongoing training.
So somebody like me that knows nothing about your business, even though all I need is care, and I have since I was born. I remember in the crib I needed care, and I still do. If I want to get on the other side of that, I could.
Yeah, we have franchisee existing right now that doesn't have a healthcare background and no business background. So they're able to continue generating a good performance revenue last year.
So before we go any further, because I know it's going to be as soon as we blink our eyes a couple more times, it's going to be too late to give out your contact information. Now, you can always call me. You've got my number, everybody out there. But go ahead and give all of your contact information, phone numbers, website, everything.
We have our contact number, 818-906-4441. But you can also call and text me at 805-338-8100. We have 2 websites that they can visit, 1heartfranchise.com and 1heartcares.com.
Yeah,
and remember, if anybody needs care, which we all do at one time or another, you can use that also.
Sure.
And I think everybody needs care at one time or another. And I think the sooner you get care, the longer you're going to live. And the sooner you get care, the longer you're going to be able to live in your home. But that's just me yapping. So now we know why a franchise is a good way to go if you're going to open a business or be in business for yourself. We had another guy on, Ray Ramirez, who talked about how McDonald's, you had mentioned McDonald's earlier, but McDonald's is out to get senior citizens to go to work.
Yes.
I guess because they don't have to pay them very much. They're not going to take maternity leave. They don't have a college schedule to work around. But on the other hand, I guess that's one way to look at it. Maybe it's a great thing for McDonald's to do. I have kind of mixed emotions about all that. But if you want to go work, you can go work by owning your own business instead. Or if you want to do it little by little, you can probably get the right kind of training and go to work for someone at a 1Heart. But so, we know what you do, I think, pretty much. Or do you want to just give a brief outline of what you do?
As far as our work is concerned, basically what we do is when families realize that their parents, their aging parents usually would need help, they would give us a call and they would ask for a caregiver to help out their mom or their dad, with activities of daily living. So it's not just, sometimes it's just companionship. They want somebody to be there to talk to their mom, or their mom or their dad lives alone. So they want somebody to be there before something happens. The risk of falling, it grows as you're older. So sometimes it's too late,
Yeah. If you're built like me, you bounce right back up. But I mean, most people don't have those kind of built-in accoutrements. But let me ask you a question. Does anybody, it's always seems like children call. How about people themselves? Do they ever kind of give you a call and say, I need some help?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes. We do get calls from people who need it themselves, and they call and inquire, can you have somebody, come in and help me out right away? Sometimes we get, by the way, not just people from the care recipients themselves, but also hospitals and other facilities who have skilled nursing facilities would call us before they discharge any of their patients. They would call us for help just to make sure
that when people do go home, there's someone there when it's needed.
Yes. So
yeah.
So we all know that that America is an aging nation. So there's this wonderful opportunity in the senior care industry, actually, that I think most people who are business minded, want to go into business for themselves, should really look into this.
Yeah, I was going to ask a little more about 1Heart specifically, but the senior care industry in general has got to be booming. And if it's not, and no matter how booming it is, it's going to boom even more, right?
Correct. Yes.
I mean, so is the reverse mortgage industry booming. It's booming because of people getting older. I wish it were, and I think it's going to change, and more people are going to want it because they want it, not because they think they need it. And it should be the same with your industry too. Somebody shouldn't wait until they have already fallen down before calling you. I mean, that's just silly. They should have support that they need. But I think it's been said that the fastest growing group or age group in this country are the 100-year-olds, followed by the 85-year-olds. And I haven't even made it to the first leg yet of that. So given that, there has got to be an explosion. I mean, we are living longer than we thought we would be. And definitely we're living longer than the insurance industry has considered in the past. Long-term health care, regular insurance, none of this was Medicare, quite frankly, none of this was set up for people living into their hundreds. And we need help. And we might as well be part of getting help and giving help. And if you can make some money at the same time and reward yourself, because there isn't just income, there's reward with doing this kind of work. Right?
Can I add some more about that? You're right when you mentioned that we're living longer, but a big number of statistics shows that seniors are living longer, but with health limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning,
Well, yeah, that goes without saying. That's pretty.
uh, we are unable to perform the activities, the regular activities of daily living. Hence, they are supposed to be with somebody else, like a caregiver or a family member, to be with them, because most of them live by themselves.
Yeah, I used to be able to think about working out for an hour. Now I can only think about working out for 10 minutes. Of course, I don't do either one of those, but you know.
That's still good, Jay.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Remember, we declared last time when we were there in your show that our healthcare industry is defective. It focused on illness. 1Heart,
Oh,
who our CEO, focused on wellness. So we have brain health wellness, we have fall prevention awareness program, we have neurobics brain exercises. So these are what we do to be able to promote wellness, longevity, and improve lifestyle.
yeah, I'd like to get you out in the. We'll talk about getting you out in the field here. Either God, this year is almost over,
Sure.
and we can put on some talks and some shindigs where some people we can do some mind games and some memory kind of, without embarrassing anybody, because I would be the first to be embarrassed if it mattered. But games and things to test our memory so that people can go in there and do what they need to do.
All right. Sure.
So now that I guess we all know that this is probably the best business. I mean, let's face it, food and health, entertainment, you can't do any of it unless you stay alive and are healthy. This is the number one way to stay at home, the number one way to reach that 100 and whatever. And remember, reverse mortgages do have to be paid off when you reach 150. So what we want to do is get together and make sure that Congress has to move that beyond 150. So why do you think you're different from other companies in the field?
Well, for our franchisees, I would say we're different from the other franchisors or those big franchisors because we are not really after the numbers. We care about their success and not about the fees. We are after the quality of partnership that we have with our franchisees. We're very hands-on with trainings, and we provide to our franchisees because our goal is to make sure that they are successful in their business.
Mm-hmm.
We go beyond just being available via phone calls or emails and supporting our franchisees. In fact, Randy here just came back from Las Vegas.
All right, let's go.
To help our franchisees in an activity that he did in one of the facilities over there. And that's within a matter of 2 months. He had to go there. No charge to the franchisee, unlike other franchisors. Every time they send a field consultant or what over the number that they put in their franchise agreement, they would charge. We did not, because we just want to make sure that he's good. So Randy was there to help him.
Yesterday, I was the South Bay franchisee. Hermosa Beach, Palos Verdes. So I was there with them.
Yeah.
And I used to have like up to 4 different offices in Las Vegas. And what I found out about older people then, because I didn't consider myself older, a few years ago, most important thing to them was video poker. Is that still important in the senior world there?
Yeah, I guess.
I think
Randy doesn't play that, so we can't ask.
No, I didn't either, but it just seemed big time.
I can play the brain yoga with them. So
yeah. So go over again how someone can get started with your franchise. Also let people know how they can get started with your services, because the number one thing for happiness, which leads to health, which leads to longevity, is having a helping hand to make it through all of that. So Go ahead and give us your information again before we're all gone.
Yes.
I don't mean pass on. I mean the show's over.
Correct. So we wanted to have a good profile and pre-qualification of any franchise candidate. So we have our franchise applications, the first franchise step process. Second is to meet and greet with the executives of the company, me, our CEO, and our VP, Kevin Tagarao. So then we will be able to give us a third step process is a franchise disclosure document when it outlines 28 items about the franchise, the overview of the senior care industry management team. And then we will have a discovery day where they have to visit our office to be able to see all the department heads and get to be explained what we do by each department and how we can fully support them. And then we'll be able to have the contract signing if both of us will be able to agree that this is going to be a good business marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last step would be the 5-day business academy training that we'll be able to discuss and have a complete training of all the departments and all the important roles and the positions in the office. So they'll be able to operate it as the same way as any 1Heart office in different places. So it's a replication of the successes, the system, the process, and the methodology.
Yeah, and on our last minute here, I do want to point out that I think not only are people living longer, the other thing that's been changing is that, you know, maybe 15 years ago, Craigslist was a decent place for people to get caregivers. That, after all the horror stories have come out,
Yes.
that is no longer a viable option. And it's nothing anybody, you know, you want somebody, even if you have a neighbor or a good friend or family, those people probably are not trained the way your people are, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And with that, I guess it's over for today. So let me get rolling and thank you both, Belinda and Randy, and especially Sean, and that's our engineer, and everybody else out there. So Kaplan will be here on the same corner in front of the cigar store, which 1Heart doesn't support, next week. Have a good weekend.